Sagittarius. A hidden test turns to triumph. Money rises, love stabilizes, freedom finds roots. Part 1. The hidden test becomes your launchpad. Sagittarius, something unseen has been circling your orbit. A subtle vibration that at first felt like concern, but lately rings with another frequency. There is a woman around you, perhaps a colleague, a companion, or someone who often speaks in the language of support, yet sprinkles doubt into every sentence. She doesn't storm your gates. She plants small seeds meant to make you question your worth. And because your heart is open and your fire generous, you almost believed her tone was harmless. But your intuition, that inner compass born under Jupiter's watchful eye, has already sounded the alarm. You sense the shift in temperature when she enters the room. The smile feels too rehearsed. The questions dig too deep. You don't need confrontation to see truth. Your truth radar has always been your silent shield. Sagittarius, betrayal rarely announces itself. It dresses in kindness, sits near your fire, and studies your map. But destiny isn't sending this person to wound you. It's sending her to measure your altitude. The universe wants to see if you still hand your freedom to the approval of others. That's the real test. Not her whispers, but your reaction to them. Will you defend your light? Or dim it to stay polite? Today you choose differently. You rise above gossip as an eagle rises above fog, without explanation, without noise. You understand that silence is the most elegant armor. Say this softly in your mind. I, Sagittarius, move by truth, not by rumor. My fire isn't negotiable. That sentence is your spell, your ignition point. It cuts the cord of manipulation and reminds the universe that your path belongs only to your expansion. The moment you affirm it, the energy around you rearranges. Conversations that used to drain you will fall silent. Invitations that once tempted you will lose flavor. Life is decluttering your circle because you no longer need applause to confirm your direction. You've carried stories that weren't yours to carry. Every time someone underestimated you, you used that doubt as fuel, but the weight of proving yourself has grown heavy. This moment marks the end of that era. You're not here to persuade anyone. You're here to live vividly, honestly, unfiltered. The woman who tries to cast a shadow on your accomplishments doesn't realize she's only highlighting your glow. Each rumor she spreads becomes an echo that sends more attention toward your name. And when that attention meets your authenticity, it transforms into respect. Still, this isn't about revenge. It's about refinement. Fire purifies. You, Sagittarius, are learning to burn without destroying, to speak without shouting, to lead without needing validation. The same mouth that once defended itself now chooses peace. The same eyes that once searched for fairness now see through motives with ease. The test was never external, it was an internal graduation. You've mastered discernment. You now know the difference between criticism and projection, between advice and envy, between help and control. Notice how light your body feels when you stop explaining yourself. Notice how quickly new opportunities appear when your energy isn't tangled in other people's drama. Freedom is expensive, but it pays in miracles. There's a subtle reward waiting behind this storm. Clarity. When you release the need to correct false impressions, the universe corrects them for you through results. You will see it soon. An unexpected compliment from a superior. A sudden chance to showcase your talent. A message that confirms your intuition was right all along. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. This confrontation you're avoiding will resolve itself, and in its ashes, a new confidence will rise. From this point forward, you'll no longer confuse peace with silence. You'll understand that sometimes peace roars through action. The action of focusing on your craft, your growth, your higher calling. That's how you outshine deceit. Not by reacting, but by evolving. Imagine yourself at dawn, bow in hand, standing on the edge of a vast plain. Behind you, the murmurs fade into the mist. Ahead, the horizon expands infinitely. Every breath becomes a declaration. I am not what they say. I am what I build. That mantra will magnetize only those whose souls speak the same language. The pretenders will find no resonance here. Sagittarius, destiny isn't punishing you with jealousy. It's preparing you for leadership. Every arrow of rumor that flies toward you turns into wind beneath your flight. The more they aim, the higher you climb. Because truth is aerodynamic, it doesn't resist, it rises. Soon you'll see that this person who tried to weigh you down has actually anchored your focus. You now know exactly what kind of energy you will and will not entertain. That clarity is priceless. The cosmos has a strange sense of humor. It often hides blessings inside irritation. What looks like betrayal today will reveal itself as liberation tomorrow. This episode will teach you to protect your creative fire with sacred boundaries. You'll stop explaining your dreams to those who mock what they don't understand. You'll stop dimming your joy for those allergic to brightness. You'll stop waiting for approval to begin. Because Sagittarius, you were never meant to ask for permission to be limitless. The coming weeks will show subtle but undeniable shifts. People who once spoke over you will begin listening. Projects that stalled will gain traction. Finances that seemed uncertain will find direction. And it all begins here with your decision to walk away from noise. Remember this truth. When you stop defending your worth, life starts proving it for you. So tonight, when you close your eyes, picture a fire glowing steadily within your chest. That flame doesn't flicker for applause. It burns for purpose. Each time someone doubts you, feed that fire with quiet determination. You don't need to argue. You only need to act. Because action is the most eloquent defense. Sagittarius, your story from this moment forward is no longer about survival. It's about demonstration. You will demonstrate resilience without bitterness, success without arrogance, and wisdom without exhaustion. The universe chose you to show that freedom and loyalty can coexist, that independence doesn't mean isolation, and that truth spoken calmly is stronger than any rumor shouted in fear. So let them talk. Let them wonder. While they discuss, you ascend. While they speculate, you create. And while they plot, you prosper. Because this, dear archer, is the paradox of fire. It consumes what tries to contain it and illuminates what dares to follow. Your flame is not for them to understand. It's for the path ahead to be lit. The hidden test is already complete. You passed it the moment you chose peace over proof, focus over frenzy. From here on, your life will no longer be a reaction. It will be a revelation. The horizon opens wide. Your arrows are ready. Aim forward. Part 2: Releasing weight, reclaiming altitude. Sagittarius, for years you've carried invisible luggage, expectations, promises, emotional debts that were never yours to pay. You thought loyalty meant endurance, so you stayed in situations long after your spirit had already left. Yet, the universe never designed you to live in confinement. Your element is fire, but not the one that burns houses down. Yours is the flame that guides caravans through dark deserts, the lantern that refuses to die even in heavy wind. And now life is asking you to do what all explorers eventually must. Release excess weight before the next climb. Letting go for you isn't easy because your love is vast. You give until the edges of your generosity blur into exhaustion. You pour into others believing that one day they'll mirror that care. But generosity without discernment becomes depletion. This new phase begins when you learn to love without leaking. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your light. Some only came to learn from it, and their chapter has ended. You'll feel the universe whispering that truth through small disruptions. Texts left unanswered, plans that dissolve, people who once needed you suddenly becoming distant. Don't chase them. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Spirit is clearing your runway for takeoff. What once felt like loss is really lightness. Because when Jupiter governs your path, every ending is disguised expansion. The arrow of destiny can't fly with old attachments tangled around it. This is your season of altitude training. Each emotional release strengthens your capacity to hold abundance. Think of your heart as a hot air balloon. Every grudge is a sandbag tied to the basket. Every should have and if only weighs you down. The moment you cut those cords, you rise effortlessly. The higher you go, the smaller the noise becomes until the very people who once underestimated you look like distant dots below the clouds. You're not escaping, you're ascending. Your healing isn't loud. It's in the quiet decision to no longer explain your boundaries. It's in the morning you wake up and realize you didn't check who texted first. It's in the calm you feel when you say no without guilt. This serenity you're cultivating isn't apathy. It's mastery. When a Sagittarius learns emotional minimalism, miracles accelerate. Because now the universe knows you have space to receive. Around this time, an opportunity will appear. It might be a job, a side project, a sudden offer to collaborate or travel. It carries not just financial potential but recognition. Someone has been observing your effort in silence, admiring your persistence while you thought no one noticed. Soon, they'll reach out with a proposal that shifts your financial rhythm. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. This is life repaying consistency. The extra income or success you're about to experience isn't simply a material reward. It's a mirror of self-trust. For too long, you've doubted whether your ideas were worth the leap. This win will whisper, "You were right to believe." It will restore confidence in your ability to create value from vision. Yet the real lesson lies in how you use it. Don't spend it on distractions or attempts to fill loneliness. Let this money serve your evolution. Invest in what enhances your peace. A course, a trip, a creative tool, a period of rest. Because Sagittarius, your wealth expands where your joy expands. You are entering a stage where the currency isn't just money but energy. The question becomes, where do you invest your attention? Every thought, every emotion is an expenditure. Are you buying worry or abundance? Your mind is a market and your beliefs are the traders. Choose wisely what you let them sell you. The universe will match your inner economy. If you think in scarcity, you'll chase what's already yours. If you think in abundance, you'll attract without effort. The discipline of attention will be your next teacher. Because even freedom requires structure. Sagittarius, you thrive when purpose anchors your wanderlust. It's time to organize your fire. Not to confine it, but to channel it. Small daily habits, writing, studying, waking early, saying thank you, will become your silent miracles. The big breakthroughs don't come from chaos but from rhythm. Destiny dances best with those who keep time. In the emotional landscape, you may notice old memories resurfacing. They arrive not to haunt but to test. Can you observe them without reliving them? Can you thank them for the lesson and let them float away like paper boats down a river? That's emotional mastery. When you stop identifying with pain, it loses access to your energy. The past no longer holds the password to your peace. Somewhere between the letting go and the rising, you will feel a quiet joy. A joy that doesn't depend on others, on outcomes, or validation. It's the kind that sneaks in while you're making coffee or driving alone. That's your spirit returning home. It's what freedom actually feels like. Not excitement but spaciousness. And from that inner space, the universe begins to fill your life with new colors. Be alert around this time for symbolic synchronicities, numbers repeating, feathers, songs you randomly hear that speak directly to your situation. These are confirmations that your frequency has shifted. The old story no longer matches your vibration. You've changed your altitude, and so the scenery must change too. The universe's mathematics are precise. When you rise in consciousness, old patterns can't accompany you. Some people will feel uncomfortable with your new calm because chaos once made them feel needed. Don't dim yourself to keep anyone company in discomfort. True connections evolve with your frequency. Those meant for your next chapter will adjust their flight. Sagittarius, this transition will also test your patience. Growth feels messy before it feels meaningful. You might find yourself between worlds, the old one fading, the new one not yet visible. Don't panic. This in-between space is sacred. It's where wings strengthen before flight. Let uncertainty teach you faith. Because soon the wind you prayed for will find you. When it does, don't doubt whether you deserve it. You've earned every inch of the horizon that opens before you. The same resilience that carried you through exhaustion is the passport that grants entry to abundance. You are not starting over, you are starting higher. As this new opportunity unfolds, remember, the point isn't to prove anyone wrong. It's to prove to yourself that alignment works better than resistance. The moment you choose peace over pride, the universe multiplies your results. Before you close your eyes tonight, whisper this. I release what weighs me down and trust that every ending clears my sky. Let that affirmation travel beyond your breath, into the unseen corridors where destiny listens. By morning, you'll feel lighter. Not because life suddenly simplified, but because you stopped complicating what was meant to flow. Sagittarius, your story of healing is not one of loss, but of recalibration. The woman who spoke against you becomes irrelevant. The weight you drop becomes strength. The money that arrives becomes momentum. Every event is now part of your ascent. The sky is no longer a metaphor. It's your mirror. Look up. It's already reflecting your rise. Part 3: The door that opens when you stop knocking. Sagittarius, Every seeker reaches a moment when persistence must evolve into trust. You've spent so long chasing results, waiting for recognition, that you almost forgot what ease feels like. Yet destiny has a rhythm that never responds to pressure. It answers alignment. The moment you stop pounding on closed doors, one you never notice will swing open on its own. That is where you stand now, between effort and surrender, learning that doing less in panic creates more in peace. The universe has been rearranging pieces behind the curtain. All those detours that looked like delays were divine choreography. A message, a connection, a sudden spark of invitation. Something new is approaching, and it carries the scent of expansion. It may appear simple at first. A message from someone who values your skill. An opportunity to collaborate. A quiet recommendation that becomes a breakthrough. Don't underestimate subtle doors. They often open to entire landscapes. Still, with every rise comes resistance. Someone nearby might try to minimize this win, perhaps even the same person who once questioned your worth. They'll disguise envy as humor, but their words will reveal discomfort. Smile. You no longer need to defend your joy. The louder their doubts, the clearer your confirmation that you're on the right track. The universe never allows background noise unless a main theme is about to play. This victory, however small it seems, demands discipline to sustain. Freedom isn't the absence of structure. It's structure you chose yourself. Sagittarius, your ideas are arrows, but arrows need direction. Without focus, they scatter. So create your map. Dedicate time not to grind but to ground. 10 minutes of clarity beats 10 hours of confusion. Wake each day and name one arrow toward progress. Write, plan, act. Momentum loves consistency. In this season, consistency will be your bridge from imagination to manifestation. You've proven bravery. Now life asks for endurance. Passion started your fire, but persistence keeps it burning. You don't need dramatic leaps, just faithful steps. Each time you repeat a healthy routine, you tell the cosmos you're serious about your destiny. That seriousness magnetizes miracles. Then comes what you least expected. A presence that feels both new and familiar. A person crosses your path, not with fireworks but with calm gravity. They don't try to impress, they simply are. You'll notice the peace first, the unhurried tone, the attentive silence. Where others competed to be seen, this one sees you. Where past loves demanded proof, this one offers participation. Their steadiness will catch you off guard because you've grown used to carrying relationships on your shoulders. Suddenly, there's someone walking beside you, matching your pace. This connection isn't here to complete you. It's here to collaborate with your wholeness. You'll recognize it not by intensity but by clarity. There will be no endless decoding of mixed signals, no anxiety masked as passion. The energy will flow in balanced exchange. Giving and receiving, speaking and listening, action and rest. It will remind you that love, in its mature form, feels like oxygen. Unseen but essential, effortless but sustaining. First you might resist it. Freedom is your first language, and intimacy has often sounded like restriction. But this time, love arrives fluent in your dialect. It doesn't clip your wings. It teaches you new currents. You'll realize that true companionship doesn't anchor. It orients. It gives your wanderlust a home without walls. Still, remember, this gift requires stewardship. The same discipline you apply to your dreams must nurture your heart. Don't slip back into patterns of overgiving. Let the bond evolve naturally, like sunrise, steady, inevitable, without rush. And if ghosts from the past knock on the door you've just closed, pause before answering. Not every familiar sound deserves another invitation. Some echoes are simply testing if you've truly moved on. This new relationship becomes more than romance. It's a mirror of your progress. It shows you how far you've come from codependency toward conscious connection. Where you once begged for attention, you now receive respect. Where you once confused drama with depth, you now choose peace over performance. You're learning that the highest chemistry is emotional safety. Sagittarius, your intuition will grow sharper as this unfolds. You'll sense alignment not by words but by resonance. Trust that. The universe speaks through sensations before sentences. When something feels right, you'll feel spacious inside. When it's wrong, you'll feel constricted. Listen to your body. It's the oldest oracle you possess. Money and emotional stability will begin weaving together now. The opportunity that appeared in part 2 expands. Perhaps the person you meet becomes part of that professional ecosystem. Maybe their presence refines your ambition. Either way, love and purpose will no longer fight each other. They'll collaborate, building a foundation that supports both heart and mission. Your task is simple but sacred. Stay present. Don't sabotage joy by predicting its expiration. Don't dilute excitement by rehearsing disappointment. Let yourself believe that this ease is legitimate. You earned it through storms that would have drowned lesser spirits. You've already proven resilience. Now demonstrate receptivity. Some nights your old restlessness will whisper, urging you to chase another horizon. When that happens, remind yourself that peace isn't stagnation. It's power under control. You can travel far while staying emotionally anchored. You can build empires without burning bridges. You can love deeply without losing identity. That is the maturity Jupiter wanted you to master before this blessing arrived. As you practice this new rhythm, watch how the outer world mirrors your inner order. Finances stabilize, creative projects bloom, health improves, and even the air around you feels clearer. That's the magic of alignment. Everything clicks because you stopped forcing what didn't fit. By now, you understand the secret of manifestation. It's not about shouting affirmations into the void. It's about behaving as if what you desire is already part of your daily language. When you respect your own boundaries, life respects them too. When you act like abundance is natural, scarcity dissolves. So Sagittarius, stop knocking on old doors hoping for new answers. Let what's meant for you find an open gateway, not a desperate hand. Your next miracle doesn't respond to pursuit. It responds to permission. And permission begins when you say, I'm ready to receive without fear. Look around. Opportunities you once chased are now orbiting closer, waiting for your calm yes. Relationships you once prayed for now approach in refined form. The path ahead no longer demands effort. It requests authenticity. When the moment comes, and it will, step through the open door without hesitation. Don't announce your move. Just go. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every pause led you here. The world beyond that threshold holds more than success. It holds reflection, the realization that what you sought externally was waiting within you all along. And as you cross, whisper your vow. May my fire light paths, not burn bridges. May my freedom inspire faith, not fear. The door swings wide. Walk through, Archer. The sky has been expecting you. Part 4: The Archer's Vow, Freedom with Roots. Sagittarius, you've crossed the threshold. And the air tastes different here, lighter, cleaner, almost electric. The universe has tested every fiber of your spirit, not to break you, but to temper you like steel drawn from fire. Now you stand as proof that resilience and grace can coexist. What tried to bury you has become the soil from which your power grows. Look back only long enough to honor what shaped you. Each disappointment was a disguised initiation, every betrayal a hidden curriculum. You've learned to read between silences, to sense energy before words, to detect sincerity from vibration alone. That intuitive intelligence, once dismissed as restlessness, is now your compass. It guides you toward people who meet your honesty with honesty, your fire with warmth, your dreams with action. The universe speaks through alignment, and right now its language is abundance. You'll notice synchronicities blooming around you like sparks. The timing of an email, the right person appearing exactly when courage falters, the sudden clarity that turns confusion into direction. None of this is random. These are coordinates confirming you've locked onto your soul's true north. Money flows again, but this time you handle it differently. No more guilt in receiving. You understand now that resources are just permission slips for experience, instruments for service. You invest with wisdom. In learning, in rest, in environments that feed your optimism. The more you honor your joy, the more life multiplies it. Financial stability becomes spiritual proof that order creates freedom, not limitation. Yet the richest currency in this new chapter is peace. Peace in waking without dread. Peace in knowing that if something leaves, it was never meant to limit you. Peace in trusting that what's meant will stay without force. You are no longer hustling for belonging. You are belonging to yourself. That's the kind of sovereignty no rumor, no setback, no rejection can touch. And love, yes, love now stands beside you, not in front of you, blocking your view of life. This connection that entered quietly will reveal its purpose more clearly each day. It won't need grand gestures. Its consistency will be the miracle. Together you build, not fuse. You remain two flames illuminating one horizon. Freedom with roots, that's the paradox you came to master. You've learned that love without space suffocates, and space without care isolates. Between them lies balance, and you are living proof it exists. Somewhere in the coming weeks, a situation from your past may reappear. It might be a person seeking closure or an opportunity echoing an old pattern. This time you'll handle it from power, not pain. You won't explain your worth, you'll embody it. Your calm no will echo louder than any dramatic goodbye. The universe often replays old scenes to show how differently you respond once healed. That's evolution. Same script, new consciousness. The world will begin reflecting this shift back to you. Strangers treat you with unexpected kindness. Collaborations form easily. Even obstacles seem cooperative, arriving only to reroute you toward precision. It's as if destiny, once a distant rumor, now walks beside you taking notes. Every step feels supported because it is. Sagittarius, the lesson culminating here is discipline as liberation. What once felt like restriction now feels like rhythm. You realize that structure doesn't cage you. It gives your wildness a melody. The habits you fought against become the rails that carry your creative train farther than chaos ever could. Consistency is no longer punishment. It's partnership. When doubt creeps in, and it will, for growth never ends, remember what you've already survived. The hardest chapters weren't meant to destroy you. They were weights to strengthen your aim. You've learned to shoot arrows of intention with steady hands and clear eyes. Now each thought you release is a declaration to the cosmos. I trust my trajectory. Stand tall beneath that endless Sagittarian sky. Feel how vast it is, how it mirrors your spirit. This expanse is not out there. It's within you. The universe is not testing you anymore. It's collaborating with you. Together you write a story where courage replaces fear, where faith becomes strategy, where love and purpose walk the same road. Close your eyes and breathe this vow. I am the archer who chooses truth over comfort, direction over drift, freedom with roots over escape without purpose. The moment you speak it, the air around you changes. The old contracts dissolve. New coordinates appear. The world opens like a map, waiting for your footsteps. Sagittarius, this is your ascension season. The woman who tried to dim you has vanished in her own shadow. The doubts that once haunted you now fuel your focus. The opportunities ahead are no longer fragments. They form a constellation spelling your name. From this day forward, let your life itself be the prophecy. Walk steady, speak clearly, love bravely, and never forget, the horizon isn't the limit. It's merely the invitation.